Hello everyone. Today this will be a fairly different video. I wanted to make a tier list of every current character in IDV and how strong I think they are in the current, I wouldn't say meta, but more like current season of Identity 5. Just wanted to kind of express my opinion on how strong I think the characters are, and if you're, this could also be like an video that could be nice for people that really don't know who they should try to learn. If they are trying to learn someone strong, for example, rank, they want to get higher up in rank, but don't really know who to pick up or who to try. This video may be useful in any way. By the way, I will say before I continue with this video, don't take my opinion for facts. This is just how I feel the current survivors and hunters are in the current season. So if you disagree with this, that is totally fine. And if you have another opinion and you want to express it, just put it down in the comments. I don't mind. I like hearing other people's opinions on how strong or how weak a character could be. So yeah, let's get into it. Let's start from the bottom up. Let's do Leo. If I had to say Leo, I would do probably viable in most situations. It's either between recommend picking up or viable in most situations. If you're learning Leo, you will probably be in simple ties, not much more. But if you know how to play Leo, at least you should have a good win rate, or just in general be good, because he has a bit of everything in his kit. He has his what the fuck do you call it again? The fucking phantoms that he can use to stop looping. He also has the puppets that could make him go across the map instantly. And he's just very viable and good if you know what you're doing with him. So if you want to pick up Leo, go ahead, but I don't see a lot of people playing him, which is good for me because I don't really like going against Leo. He's fairly hard to go up against. Okay, clown. A good clown is probably in either for clown it's either recommend picking up or simple ties, I would say. Let me think. If you're a good clown, where would you be? Mm. If you're a good clown, I would put you in recommend picking up, because I've seen some really good clown players, and the control they have over their rockets is like crazy. But like for clown, you just have to make a rocket with the parts and just go collect some and try to also spot out the survivors in the meantime. You really need to know the spots survivors can kind of hide away into to stop the rocket from hitting them. You really have to be able to control the rockets well as well. So it just kind of is a thing of practice. But if you learn him well, you should be able to get some good matches with him. Okay. Let's go to probably gonna keep going from older to newer and start with the hunters probably. Gamekeeper. Oh, in my opinion, Gamekeeper's extremely strong. The fact that he hasn't got a nerf yet on his hook is absolutely shocking, because I have seen people like literally hook someone while the person is like in a proximity of like 5 meters away, and the hook still automatically targets them. Like, how does that even work? Like, I still think he's very good. The people that play him are good, but I would really like for him to get a nerf on his hook, because the hook is crazy currently. It's not even fair at this point. Then Ripper, the new Ripper buff. I would say recommend picking up. With the new buff, he's really good currently. Like, I've played against a bunch of Rippers in ranked currently, and most of the times I lose. It just really depends on the player. If they know what they're doing with their chip foggies, they are good. Because like you can counter almost everything. The only thing you're kind of stuck with is harassers. That's the only thing that kind of fucks you over in that situation. By the way, I would also like to say harassers are Leo's best thing to go against, because if I remember correctly, he gets his phantoms from like all that stuff. from all those stunts. I'm not sure though, so if I'm wrong, please correct me. I'm not the best expert in IDV, so don't jump at me, don't attack me, okay? Back to Ripper. Let's just say with his new buff, he's really good, and he can get across the map very fast now. Just throw a chip foggy in the beginning of the match, and you can get to one side of the map like increasingly fast. And when you're there, you'll have that foggy back. So like, you didn't even waste one. So he's very good for map traversal, for looping. He's very good as well. Like, you just have to be very patient. That's one thing I do think that you need to keep in mind when you pick up Ripper is be patient with his foggies, because if you try to be aggressive with your foggies, most likely you'll miss them. So try to be patient and try to figure out the patterns that people are doing to see if you can try to find somewhere that you can hit them with the foggy blade. So that's what I would recommend for Ripper. Violetta. Let me think. I don't see a lot of Violettas in rank. But that's because I'm not like high rank. So I know that the in high rank Violetta does show up sometimes, not a lot though. And she isn't played very often. Let me think. She isn't played very often, so mostly from what I've seen, don't jump at me, Violetta mains, is that she needs like something. I currently think to make Violetta viable again, because there's hunters like literally Hullabaloo and Goatman. They need to buff her um, string thing. I don't know how to explain it, but like the bar at the bottom that fills up and that you can use to make webs, that needs to go faster. You need to get more webs in more time, you know? Because it's freaking crazy that you get like no webs in an instance. So like you have to really be patient with your webs. You really have to be precise where you place them, and that you can also use them to speed up, but also that they're in the way for survivors to be able to move past a certain crazy good kiting area. So, but what I've seen from Violetta is they're either really good or not that good. So, if y'all know how good Violetta is currently in the meta, just let me know, because I don't know the most. It's just I wanted to express my opinion in this video. So yeah. Okay, Geisha is a 50-50. Let's just say that. Geisha can be good if you have really good ping. Geisha can be bad if you don't have good ping. That's the only thing I can say about that. You really have to mind game with Geisha. She's like, you have to make the survivors do things, and so that it gives you an advantage. For example, you have to fake using the dash so that they would vault over the pallet again and you can get the terror shock while you're not even dashing, by the way. So, but like if you don't have fairly good ping in high tier, and you play Geisha, you are kind of fucked over, because in high tier survivors really know what they're doing, and Hunter as well. But like Geisha needs to be able to like fit into the cracks with a good Geisha knows her butterflies. Let's just say that. But I'm not a Geisha main, so I don't really know how you do that. So if any, yeah, that's all I have to say about Geisha at that point, to be honest. Okay, Wu Chang. I've played Wu Chang and wait, now I have played Wu Chang multiple times, and in my opinion, Wu Chang is simple ties, not much more. That's just how I feel, but that could just be that I'm not a very good Wu Chang player. I have played Wu Chang a lot though, so I do have a feeling I have knowledge on him. So I would say it's fairly hard to do anything with him, because in the beginning, you even with insolence, it can take a while for you to get that first hit. If you don't have a good idea about the spawns where everyone spawns in the beginning of the map, and you can't parasol right onto a survivor in the beginning of a match, you're kind of in a bad situation, because you're gonna have to wait for your parasol to be back for like 17 seconds, and you can't even get a hit in, so you can't even get your first presence. So, in my opinion, there could be something changed in this kit to make him more viable in the beginning, but I would not know how to fix it though. But at this point, I would say he's just simple ties, not much more. Um, Photographer. I, in my opinion, this is my opinion. I won't recommend Photographer. I do love playing him though. He's very fun to play. But if you're considering rank and high rank, you would know that they have really good teams and they get really good communication, and it's fairly hard to do anything with Photographer if the survivors are able to communicate 24/7 and talk strategy about where they would go to heal or how they would play against you. So you can't really know how they're going to play against you as Photographer. The only thing that's good if you keep playing Photographer is you're going to get a hang of the fact where the survivors are going to hide. So I think Photographer could possibly go into viable in most situations if you learn him fairly well. But from someone who doesn't really play him, I would not recommend him. Okay, next one is, oh God, what's his name again? God, I forgot his name. Um, Mad Eyes, Mad Eyes, yes, Mad Eyes. Let me think. Mad Eyes. How good do I think you are? I still think if you're good with Mad Eyes, you can be extremely strong. But if you're learning someone, if you're trying to learn a new hunter, I would not recommend him. But if you have, like, for example, you have been playing well as Ripper, and for example, you have also gotten some good matches as Violetta, so you do have some hunter sense, and you really want to get into like some of the stronger hunters, and you want to pick him, go ahead. Like he's fairly hard to play, in my opinion. It's a very much a knowing what survivors are gonna do, having good sense of what's happening at the moment, and being able to get those like chip hits in the at the right time, so you can get survivors down, but also still pressure the ciphers. Because if you can pressure the ciphers, they're kind of fucked either way. So that's what I would say for I was gonna say Mind's Eye. Oop. I mean, what? Oh my God, I forgot his name again. Mad Eyes. Um, yeah. Feaster. Hmm. Let me think. From what I have gone against him, but we're not gonna talk about how what I'm going against him because yeah. You saw it in one of the videos. I don't really do well against feasters. Um, in my opinion, I would recommend picking him up because he's fairly strong. If you know where to place your tentacles to stop certain people from going in certain directions, you should be fine, in my opinion. Because like the fact that a tentacle does a full hit still is really viable, in my opinion. It's really good. It does a full hit, so like you can get it down instantly. And his chair camping is crazy. Like he can camp chairs like so masterfully with his tentacles. So like I would not know how certain people play against him. Like yeah. So next up is Dream Witch. Um hmm. I would think you could put her in, let me see. The most Dream Witches I have seen are fairly good. Let me just say she's extremely strong in the right hands. If you play her correctly, if you make sure your what the fuck is the minions called again? I forgot the names. God. If you put your leeches, that's what the word I'm searching for. If you put your leeches in the right position, so they have to transition to a worse kiting area, you should be fine. And like like good dream witches are really good. That's the only thing I can say about that. Mm-hmm. X boy. I would say viable in most situations, in my opinion. You know what? I'm gonna change Geisha to here because Geisha's actually fairly good. Never mind. Okay. Um, back to Act Boy. Act Boy is hit or miss. You just have to have good flames at this point and just know what you're doing with him. But it's just fairly based on getting the flames or not. Okay. Reptilian. Hmm. Where would I put him? I would say viable in the most situations, but like you have to make sure that you play him in a map that's not that doesn't have too much like inside places. Like let me say, which map could be annoying for him? I don't know. Just try to avoid maps with like buildings that people can go inside of. But for the rest, Evil Reptilian is just practice and trying to see if you can get it. And a lot of the time, it's also kind of mind gaming with him. You gotta make sure some people vault something so you can get a terror shock or something. Try to fake the jump over and go back over to the other side of the pallet to hit them because they vaulted. So yeah, it's just a bit of practicing, I would say. Bloody Queen is most likely simple ties, not much more. If you go against good people, Bloody Queen is most likely just gonna tie a game. But like a good Bloody Queen could get a win. That's just the only thing I can say about that. Bonbon, in my opinion, right now is extremely strong. With his new buff that forces people to come rescue immediately, it's really good. And if they don't, the chair chime just increases immediately. I still think that is a really good, really strong buff for him, I mean, which makes it so that he can pressure the ciphers a bit more in the sense that someone needs to come rescue that. Disciple is simple ties, not much more. In my opinion, still is. Simple ties, not much more. Some people, I will say, though, some people do exaggerate how strong she is. Like, for example, I understand why people ban her in rank. I totally understand why. But the thing is that she has a lot of counters. You have people like journalists that counter her, Prospector counters her. Let me see who else counters her. There was one more. Let me see. Who counters her as well? Professor counters her. Where the hell he is? Let me see. The only thing I would recommend you play Disciple against is if you're going against a full harasser team. Then I totally understand you go Disciple. But for the rest, I don't think you should be too scared of her in rank. It's just she most likely just ties. So if you see his disciple and you go up against her in rank, just remember that you will most likely tie the game if you play normally like you usually do. Violinist. I would say viable in most situations. Really depends on the player. It depends if the person that plays him is good or not because he's very difficult to hit notes with. But with his recent buff, he got stronger though. He got a lot stronger. His final presence, that the initial note that you made also vibrates, so it hits as well, is a really good buff that they gave him. For the rest, he's a simple hunter in my opinion, so there's not much question about that. Galatea. In my opinion, I still think Galatea is a strong hunter. I still think she is. In the right hand, she can be extremely scary. I've seen people use her efficiently with her first presence ability. I don't know what it's called, but like the viewing thing where you can view over areas and throw statues. I still think people that can accurately hit those, sorry, um, are very dangerous, and she can be very good in most situations. Percy, let me see. If you play Percy in rank, I would say just really depends. Um, I would say simple ties, not much more. It really depends on the player. Because if he gets kited well, he's kind of fucked. That's the thing. He needs to be able to find survivors fast and get them down fast. That's the only way you can play Percy well. But like in the right hands, he could be dangerous. But in my opinion, I I can kite Percy well. In my opinion, so I haven't had much of a struggle against him. The only time I did struggle against him if someone else had first chase, for example. That's the only way I have struggled against him at least. Breaking Wheel. I still think Breaking Wheel is a strong character. I don't think he's extremely strong though. I just think he's between extremely strong and recommend picking up. So I'm probably gonna put him like somewhere over here. I will rearrange these by the way at the end. Um, let's just say he's extremely strong when he has his first presence. That's the thing. And the only thing that can counter that is Flywheel, and you need to be good at timing it. So like, yeah, he's fairly strong. I feel like he's really strong. So yeah. As perfumer, I do find as a perfumer main, I do find that he is for me because I'm perfumer. She counters him. It's extremely easy to get a decent kite with her. Rescues are like I hate rescuing. Sorry, I hate doing it. Naiad. Naiad is extremely strong in the right hands, in my opinion. A good Naiad knows what she's doing, and a good Naiad knows how to stop people from rescuing certain ways, and it just makes the survivors too scared to even attempt a rescue, because like a Naiad can crazily get a double down just by water damage. Like she can get through certain situations which certain hunters couldn't. So I still think Naiad is a really strong hunter. I do think there are some flaws in her kit. I do think there should be made some changes. For example, the range on her normal attack I think should be a little shorter. The For the rest, I think she's fine. It's just the normal attack that I can't get over. That it's too long. Okay, Wax, yeah, that's no question. He's extremely strong. In the right hands, Wax is really strong. I've recently picked up Wax, trying to learn him a bit more. And if I really focus up, he is fairly dangerous to play. He's really good. You just have to like practice pressuring ciphers, getting people down, seeing how far the range is to get a wax off on people that are farther away. It's just like a situation of learning and practicing with him. But in the right hands, he's extremely strong in my opinion. Uh, Orpheus. Let me see. Or the crow, and like I would like to say. I would still say simple ties, not much more. It's either that or wouldn't recommend. It's like in between these two that I would put them. It really just depends because like from what I know, they are not fairly good. Or I not mean not very good. The character is just not that strong because it really depends on if you can bend really well with the attack, which I can't. So this is just my opinion, by the way. I just don't really see him doing well most of the time. So yeah, Clerk is for me. She's dangerous. I recommend picking her up if you're trying to go find a more difficult hunter to go against, but she does get countered in high tier because she can survivors know how to deal with her, but she is a very strong character. For me, she's either viable in most situations or recommend picking up. I probably will put her in viable in most situations because I'm now questioning my choice. Because I haven't seen a lot of clerks recently in the current games. Like I haven't seen them a lot. Which makes me question if she is that strong or not. So if you can enlighten me how you think how strong she is, that would be really nice. Okay, Hermit. Hmm. For Hermit, I would probably say. Let me think. I would say viable in most situations. It really depends on the map. If it's a high wall map, he gets fucked over. Otherwise, he should be fine. Mm, okay, Night Watch. As someone has played Night Watch, Simple ties, not much more. Sadly, he is the tie king. He. It's very, very hard to get a win with Nightwatch. The only way I see someone getting a win with Nightwatch is if you can stuff up the rescue, if you are able to figure out where the rescue is coming from from if you have someone in a chair, if you can figure out where the rescue is coming from and stuff it, and they still try to rescue, you should be able to get somewhere with that. You could, because you stop the coding and you may force other people to come to the rescue or just don't, which makes the survivor die. But that's the only way I see you winning and not tying with Nightwatch. So yeah, but he's a tie king. Um, Opera singer. As someone who has played her against someone who has played her for a very long time. Um, Let me think. It's one of these. It just depends on if they know how to play against Opera or not. Because I was playing Opera when I was in Ogre, so I was going against fairly good survivors, and it showed. Because I tied almost every match, had rarely won, and lost sometimes even, just because they were so smart and knew what they were doing. I would still put her in viable in most situations, but like her biggest counter is just dropping pallets, pre-dropping everything. That's the only way you can counter her. That's why I'm carrying triple pallet break on her at this moment if I play her. Okay, Fool's Gold. Fool's Gold also really depends for me. I would say simple ties, not much more or viable, in my opinion. Because the only I see Fool's Gold being played in Eversleep. That's a really good map to play him on. But and White Century Asylum as well. Um, but for the rest, I don't really know. I also haven't played him a lot, so I don't really know how strong he is, and I haven't really seen him a lot. The last time I played against him was like yesterday in rank, and we four escaped that sadly. So I don't really know what to think about that about Fool's Gold just yet. I think Ivy is okay. Let's just be fairly easy about this. These three are so strong currently. They are so fucking strong in the meta currently. Ivy is so good at Cypher camping. She's so good at stopping freaking something, freaking stopping them from doing anything. Like the only, like we know about Ivy's law. If two people end up in end game, or if there's two survivors left and the ciphers popped and the gates are active, you lose either way because Ivy can just camp both gates and you can't do anything about it. That's you like you can't do anything about it. That's Ivy's law. You're fucked either way. She just makes sure you get good. She gets good coverage of both gates and she instantly wins. There's no way you can get a win against Ivy if it's endgame and there's two people left. You can't, like, it's very hard to get a win. You have to have a really good first chase against her, and that's fairly hard because most Ivies know how to play. Now, Goatman is also severely strong. He is really good at chair camping, in my opinion, with his cages. He's also really good at map traversal. A good Goatman can traverse the map in seconds. And he's also the only thing I would say is he a goatman that is still learning needs to make sure that he knows that he can block off like windows and pallets with his cages. So you need to be really good at placements with your cages, as well as knowing how to deal and how to make sure you get the hit on a survivor in the cage. But most ghostmans are really good. And Hullabaloo is a given. I'm not even going to talk about. He's too strong. He needs to be nerfed still, in my opinion. Okay. Peddler, the newest hunter. Um, from what I've seen, I've tried her as well. I'm gonna try her again another time and try to make a video out of it. I will say I'm not the best peddler at the moment. I would say viable in most situations at this point. I don't really see her getting up in one of these two tiers at the moment. Don't really know. Yeah. Okay, let me check this out again and see if anything needs to be changed in the tier list. I may change Reptilian over to here, because he is actually fairly good. I also may put Undead here. Yes, okay. That's the tier list for me at the moment. Yeah. Now on to the survivors. Okay, now we move on to the survivors. Let's start from the oldest ones. Lucky Guy. Let me see. I think Lucky Guy is a really good character in my opinion. It's either fairly good or really good. I may change him at the end if I do see how if the tier list looks different, but I will put him in really good character right now because he is just like a bunch of different characters in one. He can you can play him all different ways. So like if you know what the hunter is, you could literally change your equipment and everything in your inventory based on that alone. Like for example, you go against a disciple, just bring a perfume perchance, or bring I don't know. And if it seems like the decoder is in chase, you could also just grab a explorer map or a mechanic bot to get some extra decoding in change for the decoder being chased. Like you can play a lot of different ways with him. He's just like that all around character that I feel like is fairly strong in most situations. Okay, next one is Doctor. In my opinion, this is my opinion, she's not good. She can be good in certain situations, but like all doctors play the same way. They wait around a pallet, heal up, wait for the hunter to get in, and pallet stun them. That's the only way she plays. But one thing I would say is I don't see her a lot in rank. She does not show up a lot. The only way I would see her being viable in rank is going against a Percy, going against a photographer, going. Is there anyone else? Not really. Yeah. She's only good against like Percy and photographer. That's the only ones that she's good, and that's only if you know that the hunter is playing those characters. And like in high tier, you can't even know what the hunter's playing, unless if he has obvious like healer bands. Okay, a lawyer. I would say a lawyer is a really good character. Lawyer is a really good character currently. He can see where the hunter is. So if the hunter is coming straight for him, he can always make sure he is on the complete other side of the hunter. He has a really good decoding, walking speed, and vaulting. If you keep up your momentum and make sure you get that stuff up. And yeah, he's just fairly good with his map. So I would even say so that I would put him above Lucky. Wait, let me put Lucky Guy below him. Um, yeah, I would say he's really strong. I don't think he's meta per chance, but I do think he's strong. Okay, which one is next? Thief. I would not recommend. I don't see him a lot in rank, so I don't really know how if he's that good. But from what I've seen of the high tier Thief players, because I've gone against them, they are really good. So I would say if you want, never mind, I'm gonna put him in fairly good. If you want to pick him up, go ahead. He could be good in rank, but you have to play a certain way. Like you have to make sure that that's for perchance, for example, if you go against a Naiad, you have to make sure that she can't harpoon. Because if she can't, you should be fine, and you could kite her for a while. That's the only way I could see it work. But if you're like going against a hunter that's like fully based on normal attacks and can't dodge your flashlight easily, you're kind of fucked in a way. So yeah. Okay, Gardener. I would say fairly good. Just from our bubbles alone. I don't really think her gardening toolbox is fairly good of an ability. The fact that she can break chairs does help in certain situations, but I don't think it is that viable because you'll lose the coding time from breaking chairs. It does help the person that's kiting at least, but like how much is it gonna help them though? I don't think it helps them a lot in any sense. The bubble though is really overpowered. Like if you just take Gardener as a character that can make a bubble, so an extra hit file possible, I think that is a really strong asset to her that really buffs her up because if it was just her loot her toolbox, I would put her in not recommend. But because of the shield and like the veteran buff that she gets, like if you get hit, you get a speed buff. By the way, the veteran buff every original survivor has. It means that if they get hit, they get a extra longer period of speed boost from the hit that they took. So yeah, I think that's a really strong thing that makes Gardener a bit more stronger than usual. Okay, Magician. Magician after his buff, I would say he's fairly good. I haven't really seen a lot of him, and I haven't been able to play him myself. So I may be able to like formulate a better opinion if I actually get my hands on on Magician and try him. So I could see how he plays. So yeah. I would say Explorer is a really good character, but it's like the same thing as Lawyer. It's the hiding technique. You just hide from the hunter in a certain spot that they don't know, and you should be fine. But you have to make sure the hunter does not know where you are as well. That's the only way you can actually efficiently hide from the hunter. But like in that sense, he is strong. I do still think Lawyer is stronger than him, and Lucky Guy is in between them. I do not think Explorer is stronger than Lawyer or Lucky Guy at this point. He does have strong assets, which is Page, and the fact that our survivors can pick it up when he dies or gets put in a chair. That's also a really good thing, at least. Okay, Mercenary. I still think Mercenary is fairly meta. I think we all know why. He's a very good rescuer. He can get distance with his ability, and he dies slower because of the fact that the damage he takes goes down over time. So he's fairly strong. He gets on the chair fairly slow. He can do clean rescues, and he can get distance from the hunters, which is the most important thing in the whole game, getting distance. Okay, Priestess I still think is really strong. Priestess is a severely strong character. She's really, really strong with her portals. In a good priestess that knows how to portal, she can make the hunter's life a hell. She's very good at the first chase. She's very good at a as a support character. She can rescue sometimes fairly well. She's just an all-rounder in my opinion. She has good healing. She can make a long portal. Like for example, if you go against like a Galatea that doesn't have trump card, and you make a portal from the one side of the map to the other, girl, you're fine. You can perhaps fully heal the survivor, because Galatea's not getting there in time. So yeah, coordinator. I would say she's very good, but like higher up in here. And let me just change it up a little bit. I would still say thief is better than gardener. Coordinator is really strong because it's not like because of her abilities. It's mostly because of what she can do with it. She can force the hunter to bring excitement, so they can't use blink for chance in the first chase. She could also harass the hunter with the gun and make them scared to even attempt to go to a chair. She could also use her gun in the beginning to get a good first chase herself, which is fairly nice. And yeah, she's a really good character. Mechanic. She's meta. Sorry. Even with all her nerfs, she's still meta. It's an extra survivor. The bot is an extra survivor. It's crazy how good she is. Like, you could nerf her as much as you want, she is still extremely viable. Just put 3 tiers of snooze on her. Snooze, by the way, is a perk in a persona web that makes your chair time go slower. That way, if you're on a chair's mech, you have all the time to use your bot to decode, and you should be able to do a lot with that. So yeah, if you ever want to pick up a decoder, I would recommend Lawyer or Tracy in that sense. They are really good decoders. But Tracy's fairly hard to play though as well because you have to make sure the hunter does not find your bot. That's the hard thing. Okay. Um Next is forward. Um I would say forward is fairly good, like above thief at least. The only problem is if the 100% excitement, then he's kind of useless. But he is. I would put him. Never mind. I would put him above coordinator. I think, yeah, I'm gonna do it like this. I would put him above coordinator because even if he gets first chase and he knows the hunter has excitement, he can still use his ball to get away in time. That's the only thing that makes him stronger than coordinator as a rescuer. Not a rescuer, I mean as a character in a whole, because he can get distance with his ball, but also do balloon rescues with his ball or chair rescues. It really just depends on how he uses his ball. Next up is Mind's Eye. I would not recommend Mind's Eye, or only in certain team comps. I would recommend Mind's Eye if you, for chance, had a Lily in your team, or you had you need a rescuer in your team against with Mind's Eye. It just really depends. You could hide with her. You could use a hiding strategy with her, but it doesn't really work that well in my opinion because of the staff. The staff is really visible to the hunter. Like the freaking effects that come from the staff, that really shows the hunter where you are a lot of the time. But I do think Mind's Eye can be strong because she can see where the hunter is coming from every direction if the hunter is close to her. That way you could hide from the hunter, but I think it is fairly hard to hide with mechanic. I mean Mind's Eye. I still think it's Lawyer and Explorer are stronger hiders in the game as decoders than Mind's Eye. Because she doesn't change her appearance by chance, or she doesn't completely see the hunter the whole time. Okay, Perfumer, I would say she's a fairly good character. Perfumer is fairly good. I would not put her in really good because she is just your typical standard character that can just take hits. So yeah, I would say she is fairly good at this point. I'm not gonna. I can't really formulate more of an opinion from that. In my opinion, Cowboy is meta. That's my opinion. Cowboy is very meta. I think he's really strong as a survivor. He can use his lasso to kite. He can use his lasso to rescue. He can use his lasso to rescue from chairs. Like, he is a severely strong survivor. He is so strong, in my opinion, that like it shocks me that not a lot of people play him in rank. I did see him when I got higher in rank. There were a lot more people playing him. Okay, next is female dancer. Female dancer. Where would I put you? I would say dancer is a really good character. It also just depends on the team with her. I would say it really depends on the team, but still, if you don't take consideration of a team, she's still a very good character on her own with all her abilities. She's very good on Eversleep, on Leo's Memory, on Chinatown. She's also very good there. Arms Factory is also a fairly good map for her because of the box placements you can do there. You also have the yeah, that's about it. I would say I don't think there's any other maps she's fairly good in. Kreeberg Racecourse could also be one if you think about it. Um, I think he's just a fairly balanced and strong character. So yeah. Okay. Next is Seer. In my opinion, Seer is still a very meta character. He's a very meta survivor with his owl. He can literally nullify a hit with his owl. If you are a hunter, a normal hit hunter, and you go against a Seer, you're kind of fucked. Because like he can extend a chase, the first chase by a lot, or just in general a chase by a lot, the fact that his owls are performable are what makes him so strong. Yeah, and the fact that the debuff about the slow vault only affects him is also fairly strong because like you can keep owling the first chase while it doesn't affect them, but it does affect you. So you should be the only thing that would be bad then if the first chase dies per chance and you get the next kite, you're kind of fucked. That's what I think. Embalmer, I would say Embalmer is fairly good above Cordy, I would say. Because you can, as Embalmer, you can just use your coffin as a first chase to extend your first chase. You could also use the coffin and put it at the gate to help the last survivor that is chasing if you have seen them during the match. So Embalmer is fairly good, I would say. I don't really have another much more of an opinion to form on him because I haven't played him yet, sadly. Um, Norton. I think Norton is a really good character. I would say a buff, like he would be around here. He's a really good character because his magnets are really strong. If you get a good magnet off, it's really good. And the fact it's rechargeable, and you have a stack of three, like you could stun the hunter 3 times for the first chase to get away, and the hunter would not be close at all. Like I find him severely strong, Norton. He's good in kiting. He has fairly good decoding. He has fairly good support as well. Harassment does also exist. I do think Norton is one of the weaker harassers from the balloon. I do think he is much better as a support character to support the survivor that is kiting than he is a harasser. That's my opinion, just. If you can harass well with Prospector, that's good on you. That's all I can say about that. Enchantress. Enchantress really depends on the team, in my opinion. I would put her like around. I would put her here. I would say it just really depends on the team and the hunter that you're going against. I was gonna say Embalmer. Enchantress yeah, she's a strong character in general because like if you can get away with certain stuff as her, like she's good against chip hunters. She's good against yeah, she's good against chip hunters. She's good against slow hunters. Like she can do a lot. Like she can stop hunters from doing certain things. She can even stop a blink from happening if you time it correctly, which are a stun. So yeah, it just really depends on the situation you're in. Wildling, in my opinion, Wildling is a really good character. I would even say so to put him above Lucky Guy and between Norton. Between Norton and Lucky Guy, I mean. Um, I think he is. Let me see. He's really strong. In first chase, you just climb onto your boar and you should be fine. You can even nullify Tinnitus. Which in my opinion is really good because like I really depend on Tinnitus for my chases. And like the fact that you, oh my god, sorry for the gasp. I'm sorry, not the gasp. What am I saying? Um, I just think he's really strong because you can harass with him, you can body block with him, you can kite well with him. Like he's just really strong in general. In my opinion, he's really good character. It really shocks me that not a lot of people play him. Okay, next up is Acrobat. I think that's just my opinion. I think Acrobat is a fairly strong character. Just in general, he has good. His balls are really good. His ability, I mean, in that sense. Um, he. The only thing that's bad about him is his gate opening speed. That's the only thing that really fucks him over. That's what I was trying to say. Okay. First officer. By the way, this video is my opinion. I think he's really strong. I think first officer is a really strong. Like, if you the only wait, never mind. I'm gonna put him a tier lower. I'm gonna probably put him like somewhere over here. Probably he's stronger than Necro. I think he's really strong just because the pocket watch. I hate it. Me myself, I hate the pocket watch as an item. It's a really strong item. It's reusable in the sense that you can use it 3 times in one use. Um, it really fucks me over a lot of the times. I don't really know where he is all the time, and the only thing I would recommend if you're going against first officer, if he's the first chase, try to get that first pocket watch out and then change targets, so he has one less pocket watch for the next for the rescue or for any game kite. That's all I would recommend. Just try to get the pocket watch out and then just change targets if you can. Okay. Barmaid, I would say she is a really good survivor. She can force out Blink with her Dovlin. She can pressure the hunter with her Dovlin to try to get a early hit. It also enables her to get pallet stunts in certain areas, which really makes her a strong character because you pull out trait immediately, which gives the other survivors a really strong chance to do other things. I think Barmaid is really strong with harassers on the team, in my opinion, because if you are Barmaid and you get first chase, you are able to get harassed and rescued out of the balloon from by harassers, and the fact that you can give your dolphins to other characters to heal also really helps because you can just give it to a rescuer again and make them rescue again, which makes it more viable for you to decode ciphers instead of going for the rescue yourself. I would say no, she's not stronger than Female Dancer. Female Dancer is a bit stronger than her. Victor, I think his name is Victor. Postman, I mean. For Postman, in my opinion, I think Postman is strong if he isn't first chase. If he isn't first chase, he is strong. He could also be strong if he is first chase, if he knows which letters to use at which times. He does also have his dog to work with, which gives him a bit of a distance from the hunter. So I would say he is a strong and good character. Gravekeeper, after his buff, I think he's good. I haven't played his buff yet, but I do not know how long a shovel lasts now, but from what I know, the shovels are much stronger now, which makes him a good character. Prisoner, I would say he isn't, is he meta? Let me think. He is strong though, so I would say he is a meta character because the fact that he can get ciphers to he can he can do two ciphers at once just like Tracy can, really makes him a strong character in general. Um Entomologist. After the recent buff, I would put her in fairly good. She's like a fairly good character to kite with. I would just put her below Enchantress because I still think Enchantress is stronger kiter than her. But yeah, I think Ento is strong. She has her bees. She can support. She can use them herself or support other people that are in chase with it. She also has the window buff that she gives herself, but also other allies. Um, and yeah, the only thing that kinda is bad for her is the thing that the hunters can see her. That small little debuff, but it doesn't really affect her that much. Painter. I would say Painter is fairly good, like coordinator level good. I would put him like here, I think. Really just depends if the hunter brings excitement or not. If they bring excitement, you are kind of fucked in a sense, but you still have the chair time that really helps you in certain situations. So, wait, you know what? I'll put him a bit higher now that I think about it. He is a bit stronger than them. I still think Embalmer is a bit stronger than him though, because he can create distance, which is one of the most important things to do in Identity Fee, is create distance. Batter, in my opinion, is a really good character in the right hands and the right situation. But most batters I've seen are they just want to immediately harass in the beginning, which does it does catch me off guard when it happens. But I just recommend using him to support later in the match, not immediately. But he is a strong character because he can stun the hunter, he can use it to kite himself, the balls. He has increased window and pallet dropping um, with his rage, and he can pick his balls up again if he hasn't used rage to use them. So that's why I think he's fairly strong. Then Toy Merchant. The Toy Merchant, right now with the new buff, in my opinion, she's really good. She's a really good character. With her new buff, she can give characters that um, carry items, and if they use those items, they don't have any items left in their item slot. She can give them the items in advance. So, for example, I could say the Toy Merchant, for example, has a perfume, for example, and yeah, there's a barmaid in the team as well. She can immediately give the perfume to the barmaid, even though if she has her dolphins in her hand, she could still give it to the barmaid, which makes it possible, for example, to make the barmaid drink her dolphin, and when she drank it and the hunter hits her, she can perfume out of it and make sure she's still full health. And the fact that she has the catapults, a good toy merchant that knows her catapults, is a strong character though, and the fact that her reaction time with the jump pad has also increased is also a very good thing for her. She got buffed really well, and also the vaulting buff is also really good on her. The more items you have, the more items you collected, the stronger your vaulting speed is. Is also a very strong ability. Okay, Ada and Emil. In my opinion, this is my opinion. Emil is fairly good, and Ada is a really good character. That's my opinion. Ada is a really good character because she has extra health, she can heal people from far away, and if a good Ada that knows how to rock kite can possibly get a tree cipher kite immediately because of the fact that she has 3 health states. And Emil, I think he is fairly good. I'm probably gonna put him a bit higher though because like his whole thing is getting distance. So I would probably put him somewhere over here because he is a fairly strong character. I don't think he's one of the strongest because if you it's fairly easy to fuck up a hook with him. It's fairly easy to fuck it up immediately. So yeah, I do think he is a fairly balanced character, in my opinion. Okay, Orpheus. With his recent buff, I think he's really good. With the fact that his metaphor range got increased and yeah, just the fact that his metaphor range got increased is a really good thing, which really helps him as a character. He can do cleaner rescues now. He can make the survivor get more distance now. He also has a decoding buff. I forgot to mention that, which really makes him a strong decoder as well and a strong assister in general. And he can kite well as well, which is good. Just carry 3 pallet drop on him or pallet stun on him, and you should be fine. Just be patient with your metaphor and wait until the right moment to use it near a pallet to pallet stun the hunter. Little girl. As a little girl main myself, I would not recommend her in like any sense of rank or because she is good in certain situations, not in every situation though. She let me think. She can teleport, she can use pages. She does give the survivor she attaches to a little bit of a buff, but that's also it. Her abilities aren't that strong. That's just how I feel about it. You could say she's a fairly good character, in my opinion, but it's this tier list is my opinion and how I view the survivors currently in the current meta, which is in this sense. Weepy Clown. Let me see. Weeping Clown. Weeping Clown. I would put Weepy in. Let me think real quick. I would probably put him in really good, just because he can get distance and he can also take survivors with him. He could also stun the hunter with his rockets, so he's a very all-around character, in my opinion. He can do a lot. Let's just say that he can give the survivors a speed boost with his rocket as well, in 2 different ways. He can make them come with him on the rocket or just drop the rocket near them and give them the speed boost in that way. He could also give the hunter a speed nerf with his rocket, but also stun them for a few seconds with it, which is also a very good thing that you can do with him. Professor, I would say, is a stronger perfumer. If you know what you're doing. I would probably put him somewhere over here, just because he now counters Anne, and just a lot of characters he counters now. He also has that chip hit that he can take before he actually takes one of the chip hits, that little buff he has, which makes me think he's fairly good. He's just a perfumer, but in another sense, and just fairly good in my opinion. Antiquarian is still meta, in my opinion. She's still fairly good. She's either top tier really good character or the bottom of meta tiers. She is a fairly good kiter, rescuer, assister. She's a bit all around. She can do code fairly well. She can do a lot of things. Okay, composer. I would put a composer in a really good character. Um, just because the speed boost he can give is fairly good. He can also the fact that he can also if you combo that with I think it's called Broken Windows. I'm not sure, If you combo it with that, you could get a lot of distance from the hunter. And the fact that he can get fairly good decoding as well. And if you pair Composer with someone like Lily, you can extend his kite fairly largely in a large way. So I would recommend Composer as the decoder to a lot of people. Um, Journalist. I would say Journey is a. Let me see. Journalist is also a really good character because she can kite well with her Orpheuses. She can stop certain characters like On or um, Percy from hitting her with certain attacks or certain abilities. She has a extra rescue Orpheus that she can use in a lot of situations. Like for chance, if she needs to get a rescue but she's hit, she can still drop the Orphe to the chairs to get the rescue for her, which is also a fairly good thing. And she's just a fairly all around good character, in my opinion. I wrote Plainest. From what I've seen, he's just fairly good. He's like, one of those characters that just happens to be there. He has some good abilities. In the right hands, he could be strong. From what I have seen, someone that I don't know their name though, the person that has is a really good player of his. He can really benefit well from the his abilities and stuff. I think he also has a decoding buff. I don't know because I haven't checked his traits yet in a while, so I do not remember if he does or doesn't. Okay, Cheerleader, in my opinion, is like top tier of fairly strong. She's like top tier, somewhere over here. She can be beeped twice, it's rechargeable. She can recharge abilities for certain survivors. Like, for example, a cheerleader with a painter is so strong. It's really good. You could also have like a cheerleader with a let me see. A cheerleader with a gravekeeper is also really good. A cheerleader with a weepy clown is really good. A cheerleader with a composer. A cheerleader is just like an all-around assistant that is really good for a lot of characters. She can help people harass longer. She can help people kite longer. She can kite herself fairly well. She is a very good all-around character in my opinion. Okay, now Puppeteer. From someone who has played Puppeteer a really, really long time, I still think, I still think that Perfumer is better. That's just my opinion. You could all question my choices here, but I still think Perfumer is better than Puppeteer just because of how people play with Puppeteer. And I'm also talking about myself here, just because of the fact that as Hunter, you could just force him to use the puppet, which just makes him deal damage to himself immediately. With Perfumer, you don't do that. With Perfumer, you don't deal damage to yourself, which is what kind of makes her, in my opinion, the stronger character of the two. So yeah. Fire Investigator. I would say Fire Investigator is like bottom of really good characters. I wouldn't put him at the top just yet because of certain situations. I do think he's one of the you know what? He's actually one of the stronger characters. I would put him right here. It just depends on how you play him. You could play him certain ways. You can assist people. You could use the balls yourself. The only like negative thing about it is the fact that you cannot pick up new items after both of your balls are gone. So you're just kind of a useless survivor in that sense. The only thing that really helps you then is if you got chased and you get out of chase, you do have a decoding buff because you have been chased for a while. That's from what I know. Pharaoh Lady. I would put Pharaoh Lady, in my opinion. She is fairly good. With the fact that you can now hear her making noise while she is invisible, if you just listen carefully, you should be able to get a good sense of where she is while she is invisible, which really fixes the problem of the fact that you not knowing where she's going or in which direction she's going, which really helps. Okay, Knight, in my opinion, is very, very meta. I think. That's just my opinion. Knight is a very, very strong character. The times I have seen him being played in rank showed me that good Knight players really know what they're doing. You could assist, you could rescue cleanly, you could make sure someone that got rescued could take a hit for approximately 8 seconds and get out. You could also make it so you also take a chip hit instead of a full hit. Like, he is in general a really strong character. He could also rescue while not being at the chair. He can just rescue from a distance. That's what I wanted to say. So yeah, he's a very, very strong character. Okay, meteorologist. Meteorologist, I would put her. Hmm. I would say she is a good character. It's just that I can't play her, sadly. So, I would put her probably top of fairly good. It's just that I haven't really seen that strong of meteorologist players, so I don't really know how good she is. I haven't really seen her in play that much. I do hope I get to see her in play more, like in rank. I would love seeing people playing her and see how they play her. But from the matches I have played with her, it doesn't succeed that well. Just because of how I play her, probably. Okay, the last character is Archer. In my opinion, Archer is one of the really good characters. I would put her at Fire Investigator level of good. She is really strong. She can. I still think the best way to play her, in my opinion, is to just give the hunter the laceration, the stack of the one the I mean the percentage thing. You know what I mean? Um, instead of doing full hits on them, because it makes them have to decide what they do. Do they keep chasing, or do they wait until the laceration is over? And if they get too close, you can just crossbow them. So you can make them force them 100% laceration, which is, in my opinion, a really strong thing to have. So yeah, I do think she's one of the more stronger characters. Okay, so that's everything for the tier lists. Thank you for watching, and bye bye.